Basically, the new Alviso. This is the slow crit, a practice crit here in SLO San Luis Obispo. It's actually been around for like 10 years. I did it like 10 years ago, but I recently moved to San Luis Obispo, so particularly excited about this first week. There were like 50 or 60 racers in this A field. If you guys want to learn more, head over to slow.crit on Instagram. Flyers on where it is, when it is. There are prizes available. For any level of racing, I urge you guys to check it out. But let's talk about today's race. So, starting with the course, we are just now hitting probably the main feature, which is this hill. It's maybe 4% right here, but these laps are so short, they're like 800 meters or 900 meters, less than a kilometer for each lap. So we're hit with this hill about every minute and a half. So although it's not that big of a deal, it's just you're hit with it so often. The rest of the course is pretty straightforward. The corners aren't particularly technical. The roads are wide. The pavement's good, but it's such a short course that you're spending a lot of time either entering or exiting a corner. And these are skills that are fantastic for any crit racer worth their salt. What about teams? So I am not on VFR. I mean, I'm on VFR, but for this particular day, you can probably see my arms there. I'm not riding in Volley Factory Racing kit. I don't have kit yet, so I told the boys, hey, there's plenty of you in this race. You can see them over there on the left. We don't need to be teammates today. I'm going to race solo. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it. So that's exactly what we did. You can see also there's a Butcher Box racer. There's Lance Haydet. There's Florian Costa. There's all of these really strong racers. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. But let's just dive into this race because we hit the ground running. All right, so pretty early on, you can see this breakaway forming off the front being led by Lance Haydet. And VFR not happy with that. You can see gathering a VFR at the front. Boys are going to chase it back, and I am more than happy to jump onto the back of this little chase effort. And right when they catch, I just drill it right over the top because I'm that kind of asshole. And I also just want to punish my future teammates. It sounded like a good idea, but in all seriousness, the truth is this actually draws out some really strong riders. And after a couple more attacks here and there to establish our gap, we end up in this really solid group of 8, including a Butcher Box rider, Florian Costa from Alto Velo, of course, the brother of Adrian Costa. If you guys don't know, former World Tour rider, lost his leg in this tragic accident. You should Google him. He's a super cool dude. He's local here in California. And then Lance Haydet, of course, because Lance is going to miss a breakaway. And finally, the 2 VFR riders, Brad and Dylan. And here's the wild part. Right as soon as we pretty much get established in this breakaway, I lose a contact. I didn't know at the time, and then right there I figure it out. Oh man, like, I didn't know, like, should I pull out? I didn't know what to do. This happened to me one other time years and years ago. Considered pulling out, but yeah, I had one working eye, so I decided to stick it out. Definitely didn't tell my brake mates what had happened. I didn't want to freak them out. But yeah, just decided to go full send with one contact. See how it plays out for me. Totally fine, actually. Just kind of annoying more than anything else. Couldn't quite hold the wheel the same. But in any case, 8 is a weird number for a breakaway. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I think 4 to 5 is kind of the ideal number. 8 is too big to work together smoothly. So what ends up happening is we just keep attacking each other, as you can see. Now, VFR did a great job to represent each move and have a clear understanding of responsibilities. This is very important. Brad was covering attacks, even sending attacks himself on a pretty regular basis, while Dylan, his teammate on VFR, was for the most part sitting in, saving energy for the sprint, because that's his strength. That's how he's going to win this race. But here's the problem they were facing. We had a stacked breakaway. All those guys I mentioned before, Lance, Florian, Butcher Box, they don't get tired easily, and they aren't going to let anything get away easily. So what ended up happening is we kind of shared this responsibility of chasing these things back. And yeah, we lost a couple riders along the way, but it more or less stayed together, and this group of 6 ended up staying together for the finish. And just to make matters a little bit more exciting, we actually ended up lapping the field. So in case you don't know how this works in US crit racing, only the 6 of us who are in this lead breakaway group who lapped are contesting the top 6 spots. So I just need to focus on beating the other 5 guys from the breakaway to win this race, which by the looks of it might not be a problem keeping track of these other 5 guys because Brad is just going to attack straight on through the field, and we're going to end up at the front once again. And that brings us to a lap and a half to go, just about 1,300 meters. You can see there's 2 Volet factory racers on the front. I am right behind Dylan. I'm right where I want to be. Dylan is obviously a member of that break of 6 who ended up lapping. He's a very powerful sprinter. And Brad's been doing some solid work for his teammate here. So, yeah, he's looking back. This is a good sprinter move, just being aware of what's going on. Speaking of Brad, there he is on the right, coming up the inside, providing a little bit more support. He's done so much work in this race up to this point. But we are, don't forget, guys, how short these laps are. We have a VFR rider on the left pulling off, doing his work, keeping things fast, keeping Dylan in good position. And now we're coming through Bell Lap. This is it. We have these, there's the Butcher Box rider on the left. We have these other riders who aren't part of that original break. So again, just focusing on those riders who are most consequential. I don't want to lose Dylan's wheel. I'm going to fight the rider on the left here just a little bit to make sure I'm going to stay on my main competition's wheel because I really like my position right here, guys. This is exactly where I want to be. Dylan's looking back. He's keeping stock. Like I said, this is a good sprinter's trick. But this is pretty much exactly where I want to be. In front of Dylan is Lance. And I took the inside line there, and this is good for a couple of reasons. I defended my position behind Dylan, but also I'm on the protected side. Look at the wind, a little bit left to right, and I saw the shadow coming. I knew the attack was coming, didn't even need to turn my head. Everyone's fighting for this final corner. Lance is going to take it first. The reason is this last corner, it's going to be so much faster to take the inside, and although Lance gets the whole shot, I also take a very fast inside line. Now it's just a power competition to the finish line. 100 meters to go, final time up this climb. I pass Lance. He's smart. He takes the inside of this final bend. I have to go the long way around. I pass him, and I barely fight off Dylan for the win. He was on my left. The camera doesn't do it justice. I got him by about a half a bike length. And I think if he would have taken the inside line on me, he maybe would have won, but that's why I crowded it. I prevented him from doing that. It was an awesome race. Guys, I'm stoked. We ended up setting the course record the first week in 2025. This bodes well for the rest of the season. And look, I missed the boys from Alvisa, but this is a ton of fun too. Check out slow.crit on Instagram if you want to learn more. Come out. There's a C field, a B field, an A field. You can join one or all. It's free. There are prizes. What's not to like? Thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'll catch you in the next one.